Greetings, fellow speculators. There's a little company that I like to watch called Chariot Oil and Gas. I follow this company because they follow the same strategy that I love so much. That's using other people's expertise and money to test their projects, test their theories, and try to hit one out of the park. So this little company trades on the London Stock Exchange. The London Stock Exchange website has the market cap in pounds, British pounds, 25 million British pounds. If you just use Google's translator, 25 British pounds to US dollars is the same as about, let's call it 38 million US dollars is the market cap on Chariot Oil and Gas. So if we go back and we look at Chariot's financials, they've got their financials on their website. British companies usually list all their financials on their website. It's right here on the front page. I like the PDF version because I can zoom in and things. But if we start looking through their financials, just give it a sec for them to come in. They got pictures showing off all their technical work that they do. They're exploring for oil offshore Africa and South America is what this company's doing. The offshore oil exploration. So here's a cartoon of South America and Africa kind of put together. And the promotion used to be Namibia. There's a lot of speculation on offshore Namibia, and since then they've picked up projects in Morocco, Mauritania, and Brazil, and they've got partners working some of these projects. And in the past, Namibia, if you had anything offshore Namibia, share price flew and you could raise money, and I think that's how they got the money and the listing and everything to put this company together to pick up these other projects. Now that speculation is pretty much crashed, with others in the area not making finds, and the speculative gist of that play is kind of petered out. Other finds have happened though, and so now we can come in after the party and pick up on all the exploration work that's come in. And so if we go through their financials here, they've got all kinds of stuff to learn along the way. Like here's their another cartoon of how their business works. The exploration, they drill the projects, but I like this part over here. Let's see if I can zoom in some more. Oops. That is this de-risking part. They talk about positioning, and they apply risk reduction technologies, like seismic work and modern seismic work on this offshore lands that haven't been looked at. It's almost like the first mapping of these lands. Just imagine in olden days when prospectors went through and they were the first ones to map areas, looking for minerals or looking for natural resources of some kind. These guys are doing that in modern day, but offshore, out in the oceans, with technologies that have come along now to allow us to map the ocean floor and what's beneath the ocean floor. So they take that technology and they leverage it with partners in each step of the way. So not only paying for a lot of the technologies they in place, but just drilling stuff and developing stuff. I mean, they keep reducing their ownership in the project to get the project, to test the project and see if the project works, instead of reducing their ownership in the company by printing shares. And that allows them, when the project doesn't work, to still have ownership of the company to try the next project and the next project and the next project. It's a much better way, in my opinion, of ring fencing the risk of each project to that project. And so when the project doesn't work, you can write it off instead of writing off the whole company. That's a much more sustainable business model to explore for natural resources. Then they like to position the portfolio as a fast follower. They like to get into areas that are happening and maintain portfolio diversity and management. All the classic stuff that public companies like to talk about. So let's keep going. They talk about highlights of each of their projects. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but farm outs on these projects. There's some new news releases since this since the financials are posted, but I just wanted to show off their balance sheet. And they talk about the timelines, what they're drilling. They give you a highlight here of how much cash they have, $53 million. And so what did we say before? $38 million price tag, $53 million in cash. How does that make any sense? You can buy this company for less than their cash and get all their projects for free. That's why I'm interested in this company, along with their strategy, using other people's money and expertise to make these projects happen. If we go a little further, we can see an actual balance sheet. Here's another cartoon talking about a lot of the activity that's happened in the area. They drill into each project, more details on each project. Let's go back for a second. They talk about this Moroccan one and who the partners are. They've got Woodside partnered on this one, and I believe it's one of the 3D seismic companies working on it as well. It's Mohammed Media Reconnaissance. I'm not exactly sure who that is, but I would guess it's one of the technology guys keeping some of the project by using their technologies. As we keep going, they get into the more numbers. Before they get there, they talk about who does what in the company. There's a bunch of the people that run the company. I think these are the main guys. These are the guys that seem to get paid the most. They talk about how much they get paid. Pretty open and clear way. Like this is their pay schedule. Those top guys are right here. This is in U.S. hundreds of thousands of dollars, so $700,000, $500 something thousand dollars, $400 something thousand dollars. These are the directors. And there's a news release subsequent to this posting talking about the directors cutting their pay in half going forward because the market's down so much. They get all these shares and incentives. So they get bonuses on top of their pay. If the share price does well, they get paid even more. They detail the numbers in this report, which is nice to see. Income statement. Here's a balance sheet. The British accounting titles it a little differently, but I like to call this a balance sheet. It's got your assets. The cash equivalents, $53 million bucks. The end of 2014. They don't have much else in current assets. They've got properties and longer term assets, a little over $100 million that theoretically has been spent on their projects. So you're going in behind a whole bunch of money that's already been spent on working these things before we get here. We can buy them for pennies on the dollar. Liabilities, $2 million in liabilities. Maybe they signed up for some seismic they haven't paid for yet or something. Note 16 will probably say what that is, but it's a small enough number I don't care to look. Here's their expenses, losses and investment activities, and etc., etc. But basically I wanted to show you that $53 million is there on their balance sheet in cash, sitting there in cash, and they're trading for $38 million. So there's a huge difference right there. So if we go back to their press releases, they've got a couple new press releases out since that financial statement was posted. In Morocco, remember we were just saying they've got Woodside as a partner. They're saying that since then, Woodside has basically said they're just going to stay with the 25%. They're not going to go to 50% of the project. If they went to 50%, they'd put up more money and be the operator of the project. But at 25%, they just keep a 25% interest. And so this partnership needs more money to actually drill the well. So maybe they can sell the same 25% to someone else, who's willing to put up the money, or they got to give up more of their interest, maybe 30% or 35% or some other number. The oil price is down since this Woodside deal was struck, so they probably, I would guess, they have to give up a larger equity stake to get a partner to come in and work this thing. And they're saying drilling is now anticipated in 2016 to 2017, subject to securing an additional partner. So basically, they're out looking for a partner. And this seismic work that they've been doing, they think they found some nice plays. So they're trying to find partners in that project as well. So let's go back. They've got they're saying that those financials are posted. And in Mauritania, they're also saying that they've got an extension, which is nice to see that the government's working with them. They got a 1-year extension in the Mauritania field, so they get more time to keep working the field and trying to get that thing drilled. They put out this corporate update. This is where I was really headed. This is the last news release. This is what I was just looking at. So they're trading at less than cash. What do you do? How do you get the share price up? Management got together, and one of the things they decided to do is the remuneration, what we're just looking at in their financials. They're cutting those numbers by 50%. So that guy used to get 700,000. That other guy used to get 500,000. They're getting cut in half. But one guy, the Mark Reed guy, the CFO, he's going to step down from the board, and they're saying they'll cut it $1.5 million over time. I think this Mark Reed guy, the CFO, was one of the top paid guys in there, if I remember right. And so they're talking about this. They're saying, we're going to reduce costs and maintain what we are to stick around for as long as we can in these tough times. So the management is giving up some. They're giving up some of their pay, which is a hard thing to do. But they believe they still have stocks and things. They'd like to see the share price go up too. So they're in on this with the shareholders. It's nice to see. And heck, this is one cheap company trading at less than cash. So that's why I'm watching Chariot. If you're interested in Chariot Oil and Gas, I'd suggest you go to Chariot Oil and Gas website and sign up for their news releases, as well as sign up for my YouTube channel. I'll keep you updated on Chariot Oil and Gas over time as I'm watching them, I'm interested, and you can listen to little commentaries like this along the way on Chariot Oil and Gas and other companies like it following the same strategies. Thank you for listening.